How many times have you set a big goal, got super motivated, and then quit a week later? What if I told you the problem isn't you, it's your system? In the next few minutes, you'll discover how tiny habits can completely transform your life and why everything you've tried before probably failed. Because today we're talking about one of the most practical, no-nonsense, life-changing books out there, Atomic Habits by James Clear. This isn't just a motivational book. It's more like a manual, a blueprint for actually upgrading your life, one tiny habit at a time. Most people try to change by setting huge goals. I want to lose 20 kilos. I'll start studying 5 hours every day. I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. and maybe it works for a week, but then life happens. You miss a day, then two. Pretty soon you're back to square one, feeling like a failure. James Clear flips this entire approach on its head. He says, forget giant goals. Focus on tiny, almost laughably small habits that you can stick with. Because these tiny habits, they compound over time into massive results. Sounds simple, right? But once you hear these stories and examples, you'll see why this is so powerful. But then came Dave Brailsford, who got hired as the new performance director. Instead of looking for some huge breakthrough, he introduced a philosophy he called the aggregation of marginal gains. In simple words, break everything down to the smallest parts, then improve each by just 1%. It sounds almost silly. How could a tiny 1% improvement matter? But Brailsford was obsessed. They redesigned bike seats to make them slightly more comfortable, found better, lighter fabrics for racing suits, rubbed alcohol on the tires for better grip, painted the inside of the team truck white so they could spot dust that might mess with bike mechanics, taught athletes the best hand-washing techniques to avoid catching colds, tested pillows and mattresses to improve sleep. Individually, these tweaks did almost nothing, but stacked together, within 5 years at the 2008 Beijing Olympics, British cyclists won 60% of the gold medals available. At the 2012 London Olympics, they broke 9 Olympic records and 7 world records. And between 2007 and 2017, they won 178 world championships, 66 Olympic and Paralympic gold medals, and 5 Tour de France titles, all from tiny, boring, almost invisible 1% improvements. It's like investing money with compound interest. At first, you see almost nothing, but keep going and suddenly you're wealthy. Habits work the same way. Most people start with goals. I want to lose 20 kilos. I want to be top of my class. I want to make $1 million. Goals are fine. They give direction. But James Clear says, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Let that sink in. Everyone at the start line of a marathon has the same goal. Finish the race. The difference isn't the goal, it's the system. The consistent training, eating, sleeping, recovery that separates finishers from quitters. Same for students. Every kid wants an A, but only those with a system of studying daily, testing themselves, revising smart. They walk out smiling. Goals are good for setting direction. Systems are best for making progress. Most people try to change their lives by starting with what they want to achieve, the outcome. I want to lose weight. I want to quit smoking. I want to read more books. These are outcome-based habits. You're focusing on what results you want. The problem is, if your actions don't align with your deep sense of identity, they often don't stick. For example, you can force yourself to go on a diet for a few weeks. But if deep down you still see yourself as someone who loves junk food, the old habits will pull you back. You can make a goal to write a book, but if you keep telling yourself, I'm not really a writer, every block will stop you. James Clear suggests flipping the script. Instead of asking, what do I want to achieve? Ask, who do I want to become? This is identity-based habits. It's about shaping the kind of person you believe you are. Instead of saying, I want to quit smoking, say, I am not a smoker. You're adopting the identity of a non-smoker. So smoking doesn't fit who you are anymore. Instead of, I want to write a book, say, I am a writer. Now, writing isn't something forced. It's just what a writer does. Instead of, I want to lose weight, say, I am a healthy person. A healthy person naturally makes healthy choices. It becomes easier. Every habit follows a simple 4-step loop. Cue, something triggers your brain. Your phone buzzes. Craving, you feel the urge. Who texted me? Response, you do the action. Pick up the phone. Reward, you feel good. Laugh at a funny meme. Do this enough times and your brain automates it. Say you're trying to stop eating sugar. You walk past a bakery, that's the cue. You smell fresh cake and feel a craving. You buy and eat it. The response, it tastes amazing. The reward. Next time, your brain craves it even more. So trying to use willpower alone is a losing game. You have to redesign the loop. James gives us a simple formula. Make it obvious. Want to read more? Keep a book on your pillow. Want to eat healthy? Keep fruit on the counter. Don't rely on memory. Change your environment. Make it attractive. Use nice pens for journaling. Drink your favorite coffee while studying. Make the habit something you look forward to. Make it easy. Want to work out? Just promise to do 2 push-ups. Want to write? Start with 1 sentence. Make starting so easy it feels silly to skip. Make it satisfying. Track your habits. Put a big check mark on your calendar each day you complete it. Humans love seeing progress. It feels good, so you keep going. James Clear also gives a clever method for breaking bad habits. It's basically the mirror image of building good habits. Make it invisible, make it unattractive, make it difficult, make it unsatisfying. Humans are heavily triggered by cues around them. If you see cookies on the table, you'll think about eating them, even if you weren't hungry. So don't buy junk food, or at least don't leave it out. Hide it in a top cupboard, or don't buy it at all. Charge your phone in another room so you're not tempted to doom scroll at night. Out of sight, out of mind. When the cue isn't there, the craving never starts. Reframe how you think about your bad habit. Instead of focusing on how tasty a donut is, think about how sluggish and bloated you feel after. Instead of thinking of binge watching as relaxing, remember the regret you feel staying up till 2 a.m. Visualize the long-term cost. Link pain to the habit in your mind, and it starts to lose its appeal. The more friction there is, the less likely you'll do it. Delete social media apps from your phone so you'd have to reinstall them to use them. Use long, annoying passwords that make logging in a hassle. If you want to stop staying up late watching TV, unplug the TV and put the remote in another room. Adding obstacles makes it easier to pause and ask yourself, do I really want to do this? We are social creatures. We hate embarrassment. So add some accountability. Tell a friend your goal. If you fail, it's embarrassing. Use apps that fine you money when you break your promise. This makes your bad habit costly, either socially or financially. Suddenly, that instant gratification doesn't seem worth it. Most people think they fail because they lack willpower. But James says, environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. Put cookies on the counter, you'll eat them. Put fruit on the counter, you'll eat that. Change the environment, change the behavior. This is a simple but brilliant story from the book. A young stockbroker named Trent Dyersmed used 2 jars on his desk. One had 120 paper clips. The other was empty. Every time he made a sales call, he'd move 1 paper clip to the empty jar. His goal was simple: empty the first jar by the end of the day. It sounds almost childish, but it was genius. He could see his progress, the growing pile in the other jar. It gave a tiny hit of satisfaction with each clip moved. It kept him consistent, even on days he didn't feel like it. This simple habit helped him become a 6-figure earner quickly. The lesson? Visual cues and micro rewards keep habits going far more reliably than motivation alone. People always say, get out of your comfort zone. But by how much? Too easy. You're bored. Too hard. You're overwhelmed. James calls this the Goldilocks rule. Humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks right on the edge of their current abilities. If you're an average tennis player and play with a little kid, it's boring. If you play Roger Federer, you'll get destroyed. You'll feel hopeless. But if you play someone slightly better than you, you're engaged. You're challenged, but it's within reach. You improve the fastest here. Same goes for studying or work. If you do only easy problems, your brain goes on autopilot. No growth. If you pick problems way above your level, you feel stupid and give up. The sweet spot is slightly outside your comfort zone, enough to stretch you but not break you. This is how you grow skills, confidence, and long-term motivation. The truth is, most people fail not because they lack goals or talent or even motivation. They fail because they try to change from the outside in, chasing outcomes instead of building identities. Or they try to make huge leaps instead of small, consistent steps. When you build habits that align with who you want to become, when you make bad habits harder and good habits easier, when you track tiny wins like moving a paperclip, when you stay in that Goldilocks zone of just right challenges, you unlock a system that keeps improving you automatically. It's no longer about willpower. It becomes your default. Let me end with something both scary and exciting. Habits can either work for you or against you. A good habit is like investing money. It compounds. A bad habit is like credit card debt. It grows painfully over time. There's no neutral. Every day your habits are shaping you. James calls this the plateau of latent potential. For a long time, it feels like nothing's changing, but keep going, and suddenly you hit a breakthrough. It's like heating an ice cube. At minus 10 degrees, still frozen. At minus 1, still frozen. At 0 degrees, it melts. Consistency is the real magic. So if you take one thing from this entire video, let it be this. Small habits don't just add up, they multiply. They compound. You won't see the change tomorrow, or maybe not even next month. But in a year, in 2 years, you'll look back and barely recognize yourself, all because you kept showing up. So right now, ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to become? And then what tiny habit can I start today to cast a vote for that person. That's it. That's the real power of Atomic Habits. If you found this helpful, give it a like, share it with a friend who's trying to improve, and tell me in the comments, what tiny habit will you start today? And if you want a complete roadmap, go read Atomic Habits by James Clear. It might be the book that changes everything for you. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, small habits, big change.